All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
We
First
want
and
to begin by,
foremost, oh, like you got it.
we're giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh,
Baruch Hashem.
Hashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and enough respect to the brothers that are out there pushing and spreading the truth, which is the gospel of Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai to the four corners of the world. Now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai, we just wanted to do a quick video and try to the best of our ability to help all of us, the whole church, and edify Israel as to what it means to be as to what it means to be in the days that are of the Lord, right? So to put it that way, and that there is no room for what you call it, a wishy-washy person. I hope I'm saying it right. There is no room for a person who is back and forth. You know, you need to be firm in this truth, and you need to be you need to be a real person. You know, because it's about to get real out here, and when it's real, not you know, there ain't no fake person that's not going to be exposed. But basically, it's rooted in the it's rooted in the thought of thinking that though we are coming into the end of we are in the end of days, and that yeah, Esau is coming down, that yeah, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, Yahushua is coming down to deliver us, and yeah, the kingdom is at hand. We also need to understand that it's also a time of revealing, a time of truth, and a time of test. Okay, and so essentially, it's like you in college, and it's the end of the semester. Yeah, you're happy that the semester is about to be over, but you also have to understand that you have a term paper coming. There's some exams and all these things that you have to push through in order to receive the day of rest. And so that's what we're going to try to the best of our ability to explain and to show you through the scriptures how you can accomplish that, how you can be firm in this truth, and how you can push through the tribulations or the temptations or the tests or the tribulations, that are upon this place.
Gone, gone. Yeah, beautifully said. Because ultimately, we talk about how the famines are coming, the pestilence, and it's gonna get, like we say, it's gonna get real out here, and it's gonna get real for a lot of people. A lot of these people who don't acknowledge that they're Israelites, heathens, Edomites, and Israel, as it says in 1 Peter 4:17, that judgment must begin at the house of God. Now, even for us, the prophets, the men of the Lord, the women, that are taking heed, that are the believers, it's still gonna get real to some extent, meaning that we're gonna be put in situations that we're not used to
That's
and
right.
that we're not necessarily comfortable with.
That's right.
Because as we were speaking about before we started the lesson, right now we show our diligence for the most part, for like those that teach, to the Lord by going out there, being constant in season, out of season, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, whether you have allergies, whether you don't, doing your lessons throughout the week, being diligent, being consistent with it, and edifying, because that's the lot that needs to be taken, needs to be done right now. That's the work that we need to do right now. But when this thing goes down and the Lord brings that famine of the word, we're not going to be teaching anymore. But it doesn't mean that that's where it stops, because if anything, that's where we enter that phase two of the trials to our salvation. Because the hour of temptation is not going to be a video that we got to do. It's going to be something that you have to actually physically have to go through. You see, it's not going to be like, oh, you did your videos for the week, or you went out there for the week, so now you're good. No,
Mhm.
when all hell breaks loose, you ain't going to be able to do any more videos. That
Yeah.
phase of the ministry is going to pass.
Yep.
And now we're going to be in the time of you showing your diligence to the Lord through your faith, through your acts, through how you move, and through how strong you are in the spirit, to be able to deny whatever this devil may come with.
That's right.
Because at that point, we all going to be faced with one thing, and that's going to be making it onto that chariot. And that's going to come by having faith in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, but not giving in to Esau, not worshiping the beast, and not taking his charagma. And that's not going to be something that, oh, I just put a couple precepts together and now I'm doing this lesson. No, at that time, you're going to need to put those precepts together and actually live it.
That's right.
Those lessons in that time are not going to be videos that we do to it's going to be actions that we need to take based on our knowledge of the scriptures. That's why Isaiah 33:6 says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be what? The stability of thy time. Because it's going to get real out here, even for us, the believers. What happens when the neighborhood you live in, something goes on in there and you can't stay there anymore? Now you out, but you don't know where you got to go. You try to go to a brother's house, but then the road is blocked off. Whatever the case is, you on your own, you on the fly. You got to now actually move in real life. This artificial system that they set up, once it breaks down, there's going to be violence and chaos in the streets. You're going to need to be able to live and move through the spirit. So in essence, the ministry is going to change. All right. In that sense, the way of us going out there and teaching, and that's going to all eventually that's going to be done. That portion is going to be done. And next is going to be survival, So yeah, we could get into it, whatever you got.
All right. I got, 2nd Ezra chapter 6, starting from, I'm just going to be jumping around. Verse 27, it says, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which has been so long without fruit, shall be declared." That's right. And the truth also also includes the truth of our character, okay, the integrity of our heart. And that truth is, am I sharing my screen so like it?
Yeah. No, you're not sharing right now.
Yeah. And this truth is also includes the integrity of our heart. See, the Most High is gonna bring out the truth. If you're a piece of shit, if you're full of shit, the Most High is gonna make that known, right? And if you're real and you kept this word in your heart, and you took the advice of James when he said, "What be ye doers of the word, not just hearers only." He's gonna know if you took that advice, and he's gonna reward you for that. But if you were full of shit and all you did was just talk and boast about just being in the truth, the Most High is gonna he's gonna make that known. All right, so these things we have to put in mind, that the day of the Lord is also it's a great day, right? And we should not take that lightly. It is upon everybody's head, man, and you have to do whatever it is that you can to escape it. All right. Another, I also got 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 34. It says, "But judgment only shall remain, truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. The work shall flow, and the reward shall be shown, and the good deed shall be a force, and the wicked deed shall bear no root." That's right. So there is no rule. There is no place, right? The Most High, at times coming when the Most High has tolerated how do I put it? When he has tolerated like wicked deeds, right? Up to that point, and then he no longer allows it, there is no more place left for you no more. And you don't want to be that person whom the Most High has no pleasure in.
Right.
You want to be the person who did what? Who did good deeds, man. You want to be the person who waxes strong because you have faith. So that's it on that. Brothers need to keep understanding this. Whenever you think of the day of the Lord, keep thinking about yourself. That's why the scripture says, "Work out your salvation with fear and trembling." A man who is fearful and trembling of the judgments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai does whatever it is in his power, to escape it. And he's always meditating on what he's supposed to do next. What am I doing wrong? What can I even do more? Be mindful of this, man. This truth ain't just about cursing Edomites out. It's about you getting better. Because remember, how do I put it? Here it is, like Yahushai, the debt that Yahushai is paying for us. You have to make sure that you have to make sure that it counts. Like if I'm not, I want to make sure I'm not phrasing it wrong. Like, brothers, you can help me out. The debt that Yahushai paid,
pretty much
on it.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say pretty much gotta live up to it because like you were saying, that's not a cheap price that Yahushua paid. Yeah. He gave up his life, and in the manner he gave it up, and he was sacrificed. So that's an opportunity that you don't. That's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. So you can't just take that and be like that napkin nigga in the book of Luke, the parable the Lord gave, who when the Lord gave him that talent, he went and hid it under a napkin. Now he didn't consider, how did the Lord get this talent to give me?
Mm.
Because what did the Lord have to go through for us to get that understanding? He had to go through a lot. Now, like the scripture you read earlier in the second Ezra 7,
Right.
and I believe where you're at 34, right? It says, but
Mhm.
judgment only shall remain. Now, here's the thing. When you deal with judgment, say for example, you're like in a court, and there's the when you're in a court and the judge is there, before the judgment comes out, there's only one. The only things that are prevalent in the court are evidence.
Yeah.
Right? And
Mm.
the evidence, the scriptures talk about how your sins shall bear witness against you.
Mm-hmm.
So your works are going to be weighed in the balance. That's going to be the only thing that's going to speak for you in that time. Not yourself, not how much you can plead to the Lord. No, it's going to be based on, what does it say in 2 Ezra 9? Those that are going to be delivered by their faith and by their works.
It works, right?
Right. So in the time of judgment, it's going to be based on how you scale in the balance.
That's right.
That's all the Lord is going to want to hear.
Yeah.
And that's why we have Yahweh Shai, because say we here and we're not doing too good, Yahweh Shai got our backs to make our joint a little heavier so that we don't be found wanting when our works are weighed in the balance.
That's right.
So when we say that it's going to get real out here, the works that you do now, the Lord is going to weigh it in that time.
Yeah.
So like you gave the example earlier with the semester, we're excited because semester is almost over. But what do we always remember? There's a final exam.
Yeah.
And what happens with the final exam? The final exam comes right before summer vacation or whatnot.
Yeah.
And you got students who ain't never did anything. They were cutting class. They were just sitting, laughing, whatever whatever. When the time comes, they happy. The class is finally over. But bro, you gotta take the Regents, or you gotta take the SAT, or you gotta take whatever it is. And if you fail it, the same class, see, that's how it works in the school system. The same class you just stress your whole brains out in, you gotta retake it, right?
Yeah.
The only thing is, in this time, you don't get a retake.
Yeah.
Fail this, you're dead.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You're dead. So along with the excitement of we're almost out of here, well, the question has to come in mind, am I almost out of here? Because the time is going to come when the deliverance is going to be there, but am I going to be delivered in that day? And that's why the Apostle Paul said, what? Examine yourselves daily, whether you be in the faith.
That's right.
Because you don't want to be somebody who teaches and you building up others, but you yourself are a castaway.
Mm.
That regret is going to stay with you for a very, very, very long time. So remember that along with the day of the salvation comes the day of your test. Every one of us is going to be tested individually.
Yep.
So, you got it.
Yeah, when he shall appear on his judgment seat, man, and the judgment seat of Yahweh Shem Shai, it does not compromise. Okay, when there's a judgment for a specific sin, that's what it is. You can't reason yourself out of a judgment. You can't do that with the Most High. So it's very, very important. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the elder Atazwan had put some good precepts on there. There we go. That's this we were just speaking on about weighing, right? This is Stay in the Spirit 144. Shalom, wa shalom to all you elders, brothers, bishops, sisters, all you tuning in. Yahweh Shem Yahshai Barakatam. Ecclesiastes 12 and 14. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment. You got to understand what that means. The Lord is going to bring every work into judgment, meaning that whatever you've done, He is going to judge it according to a standard. Because when you judge, when you deal with, like, maybe you go to a different country, there's certain laws that over here you may be judged for, but in another country they're not going to be judged for. That's because they're judging based on their judicial system or their laws.
Yeah.
So the Most High is going to bring everything into judgment, and what is going to be the measuring stick? The scriptures, the way of righteousness. So every work you do, whether good or bad, is going to be brought into judgment. It's going to be weighed out.
Right.
How much worse if, like it says, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So do you know that you can be judged for a wicked thought? You can be judged because there are things in you got Jake that'll try to be slick. You know, they'll try to say, well, technically ain't no law that I was breaking, so I'm good. But the Most High don't listen, ain't no law that says the Most High has to deliver you.
Yep.
You're gonna get delivered based on how well the Most High likes you, meaning if you are the elect or not. So you're gonna come here, you done messed up, the Most High gave you a second chance, you're gonna come to him. So that's like an employee who's on the job, right? He almost got fired, but he got a second chance on the job, and he's on probation. The way for him to keep the job is if he impresses his manager. And this dude is slacking, doing all manner of stupid shit. And when he gets called out by other coworkers in the presence of his manager, he says, well, according to the handbook, I didn't really do nothing wrong. I ain't
It's not in my job description.
Exactly. You can't fire me because I wasn't working extra hard or whatever. Motherfucker, this ain't about you can't you on probation. Your job is to impress the manager because he's gonna make the decision whether you stay or not. So you ain't supposed to be here giving excuses as to technicality. Well, the student handbook, the workers handbook. You gotta give it your all. You gotta go above and beyond to impress the manager. Because whether your ass stays or not, it's not gonna be according to that book per se. It's gonna be according to how he feels about you. Because he's gonna be putting in the word, yo, you know, he was on probation, but I did see a major improvement. He did this, he did this, he did this. How the hell is Yahushua supposed to plead your case when you ain't got shit? You ain't doing nothing. Here it is. The Lord says, all right, we bring him up on this account, this charge. Because there's counsels in the heavens, right? So this individual will bring him up on these charges. How is Yahushua supposed to plead on your behalf when you are down here saying out of your mouth, I'm guilty? I don't need no lawyer. Yahushua, take a seat. I don't need you to defend me. And then they bring up your files, and all it is wicked works, wicked works, wicked works. And then what makes it worse is, all right, you may try to plead, well, he did it ignorantly. But then you find out that the motherfucker premeditated it and then went into it. Yeah. You know, I know this shit wicked, but hey, I mean, we under grace. And then the dude does it. So when things get real out here, all these things the Lord is going to bring back. All these wicked individuals who are doing whatever they please, they're going after the lust of the flesh, they're talking out of their mouth recklessly. When the time of judgment comes, the Lord is going to call all that to remembrance.
That's right.
When you look up and there's a missile coming, and you were so excited thinking, oh, deliverance is here, beam me up. Beam me up. That's an inside joke, right? Beam me up. And instead, you get beamed down on by either a laser or a missile. Before you get hit, you're going to have the flashback of why you're about to be destroyed and not getting delivered. And you're going to be like, I was so excited for Yahushua's return, but what does Yahushua's return actually mean for you as an individual? Does it mean you're going to get delivered, or does it mean you're going to get destroyed? And that's something we don't really know the answer to. So what do? 2 Peter 1:10. Give all diligence to make your calling and election sure.
That's right. That's right. Hey, yeah. Beautifully put, man. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 3. There's some. Okay, right. We can probably go to the comment board later on. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. It says, starting from verse 12. It says, "Now if any man build upon this foundation gold," well, so like, let me get it right. All right. 3 verse 9 says, "For we are laborers together with God. Ye are God's husbandry. Ye are God's building, according to the grace of God, which is given unto me."
Now, as here it says, according to the grace. So right there, right off the bat, right there, you know that what you're doing, you're treading on thin ice because you're not entitled to this. You're not getting this because you deserve this. You're getting this by the grace, okay, of the Most High. So Paul is acknowledging that clearly. He said, according to the grace of the Most High, which is given unto me. Given. All right? You got it?
According to the grace of God which is given unto me, as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another man buildeth therein. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. So
there's the key part right there. He's laid the foundation, right? The scripture says we have entered into other man's labors. That is the key part right there. We didn't start this. This is not our business. We came into this. So you got individuals that come into it and they want to change the whole thing. No. That's not how you do it. You ain't got to come under no man, no camps. You got to do it this way. Bro, You didn't lay the foundation. You are coming into it. So you know what? When you go to to work at a new job, there's something called convention, meaning when you come there, there's a certain way people do things, whether it's retail, how they fold the clothes, or how they answer stock checks, or how they do. There's a certain way each company does their thing. So when you get hired, you don't come there and reinvent the wheel. You don't come there and say, no, scrap all that. This is how we doing it. No, you come there and you learn how are you supposed to do this thing or maneuver or do the job. How is it done here? Well, when you come into the truth, that's why Paul said, take heed how you build thereupon, because you got to build according to the way that the blueprint is. You can't come and do whatever you want in this truth, because you're going to find out that you're going to spend years of your life building, but you're not really building.
That's right.
You're going to be building because you think you're building, but you're not doing it the right way. So in the eyes of the Most High, you're not building at all.
Yeah. Yep. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. For other foundation can no man lay that is laid, which is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
There you go.
That's right.
So there's no other foundation to be laid than Yahweh Shai. And
That's right.
Yahweh Shai, the foundation, the church of Yahweh Shai, there's a specific way in how you have to labor, how you have to put the bricks on. And when you come here, you want to play games. That's why a lot of people get hurt when they get kicked out of the body. They get hurt. If they're not of the elect and the Lord doesn't have mercy on them and bring them back, they get hurt and they say, nah, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go do my own thing. You know what happens when you say, I'm going to go do my own thing? And you start, because you try to labor or build differently than how the body was supposed to be built. So you say, because of that, I was rejected, so I'm going to go do my own thing. In essence, you want to go lay your own foundation. And it doesn't matter how great you become, how quote unquote great you become, or how many followers you get, your foundation is not Yahweh Shai. And that means you're building, you have another foundation. So what's going to happen when your works are put to the test? It's not going to stand.
That's right. Hey, if I may add, 2 Corinthians, Paul said, well, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but are mighty through Yahweh Shai to the pulling down of strongholds. So when it tells you no other foundation can a man lay, it's telling you that, look, man, while the foundation, which is in Yahweh Shai, is being laid, you can't lay anything next to it. It's getting pulled down, So, there's nothing else that can be done except for what is done in Yahweh Shai. And just not to derail the whole thing, this is something real, man. You have to make sure that you are in it like the way Yahweh Shai wants you to be in it. Yahweh Shai doesn't want a scumbag in it. That is one of the main problems that he had with the Pharisees. He cursed them left and right because they were hypocrites, because they weren't about righteousness. They just wanted to appear righteous, That was the thing. That was the major thing that he had about them,
That's right.
So like the brothers, go ahead.
No, so like you keep going.
So like the brother said, we're going to be finding out that a man can be building, but not really building. It says, verse 12, 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 12. Now, if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest. And this is what we look forward to. I mean, this is what we're preparing for. The day of manifestation, the day that Second Ezra said, what? Truth shall be what? Shall be revealed, man. This is what we're looking for. This is what we're preparing for, to make sure that when that day of revelation comes, we are not fake. We are real. We are not something that we are not garbage just to be thrown out, but we want to make sure that we are what? We are precious, so that Yahweh Shai may keep us.
That's right.
For the day shall declare it, because it shall be.
Slaki, real quick, if you could just send, I'm gonna put the email here in the private chat. And just send the link to the elder Itazwan. So
okay.
You can join in. Yeah.
Okay, con.
That's I just sent it right now.
Okay, you keep talking.
I got you. The beauty of technology, right? See, now if we were in the ancient world, some way, somehow, if you could see what was going on in another land, you're like, damn, them brothers getting down, man. I'm trying to get in there. How you going, But through the Spirit, the Lord has it to where it's so easy to just, to just get into it. But just like the brother was reading, I'm gonna pull it up on here. We were in 1 Corinthians, and it's dealing with your works being tested. Now you notice the scriptures classify our works into categories, right? You have some. Let me actually just pull it here so I can make much better reference. All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 13. It says, "Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it. For the day shall declare it." Shalom, shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Barakatah, big brother Manat Zakba. The day shall declare it. So when the time comes, we're not going to even, God, we're not going to even need to oh, this brother did. No, based on the things that are going on, it's going to let it be known whose works are made of what. Because the Yahushua said, what? Sufficient is the evil, basically, of the day. So we're going to be tested according to the test Yahweh Yahushua has set up. And that's going to let it be known, is going to make it manifest what manner of works what manner of material your works are.
Come.
You know, so that's why you got right now is the time to take this as you see what's going on over there. That's prophecy. This whole situation with Russia and Ukraine, that's wars and rumors of wars. And they're saying, look, you know, they're talking about nukes now. They're talking about nuclear weapons. Why are they talking about nuclear weapons? Because we're so bugged out. We just make things up. We wake up. We just come off the top of our head. We just wake up out of bed and just come off the top of our head with just outlandish things. Yeah, there's going to be a nuclear war between Russia, the U.S., and a few other, other countries. Go out there and teach that. So we just make shit up. And it just so happens that when you read the scriptures, it's in there. But no. Well, according to them, we go and we leave out certain verses and we pick the ones, we cherry pick the ones we like and the ones we don't like. Okay, so explain to me, why is it that they're talking about nuclear war? Why are they afraid of nuclear war? If that's not a credible threat, why are they afraid? Now you got to ask yourself, hold on. Weren't these men talking about this years ago when tensions weren't even like on this level? When Russia and the US were actually talking about peace with each other? And they were talking about nuclear war. So, maybe if I stop and I start to think for a second, it looks like the world is going in a direction that these men have been saying is going in. So for us knowing and seeing these things, for us much more so knowing these things, what manner of person are we to be in? Should we not be making sure, hey, look, man, you see the thing going on over there? This means that our salvation is near. So what does that mean for me? What should I be doing knowing our salvation is near? I got to make sure that I'm on point, right? If you have a visitor coming over and you know that they're close, they text you, I'm like, yeah, I'll be there within the next, I'll be close. I'm close. And you're looking around instantly. What are you thinking? You're looking around, you're like, yo, let me make sure my room is clean and make sure that the kitchen is clean, dishes are washed, because you don't want them coming into your house and your house is not looking right. The second somebody tells you, oh, I'm coming over, you instantly thinking, all right, let me make sure everything is on point. Well, that's the mindset you got to be in. You know the salvation is near. The day of destruction is near. What should you be thinking? Let me make sure I'm on point. Because, yeah, I'm excited to see that day.
That's right.
What's the day going to benefit me if I'm not right? It's going to be here, but I'm going to be destroyed. So, you know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you are in the best case possible by just following what the scriptures say to do. Shalom.
Right. How about is it me or does he purposely not have?
No, I think he put himself on mute.
Okay.
Shalom. How about you?
Okay. What were you verse?
We were in. Oh, I just read 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 13. I'm still in it, so you can read it again.
Okay.
When you pull up on the screen, I'll keep going.
Okay. Yeah. I was just gonna follow along so they can read along. All right.
There we go. So I'm gonna read it again. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 13. It says, "Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by what? Fire." So there you go. It's going to be revealed by fire. And the fire shall try every man's work, what sort it is. Right? So everybody's work is going to be tried. This is why you got people that get mad at the Apostle Tahar, for example, or they get mad at brothers in their camp or the elders in their camp because you get God on if you don't do videos or if you don't edify or if you're not out there. And people get mad because, oh, this guy's always on my back. Oh, this guy's giving quotas. He just wants to look good. He got his men doing this. The scriptures say that every man's work is going to be tried. So what if you got somebody telling you to set this requirement or to do this? That's to help you get some works.
That's right.
If you just sitting there, you're not doing nothing, you a napkin nigga. And if you a napkin nigga, you're gonna be destroyed. Because what works are gonna be tried of you. Because people, well, if I don't got no works, if you don't have no works, that is a form of works. Because that shows the Lord that you ain't doing nothing. So what's your reward gonna be? Destruction. So you can't get mad. The fact that there's even an order out there like that is showing love to you to get you on your stuff. Because you have certain brothers who, you know, they need that push. They need that, yo, make sure you get this done, and then they'll do it. But you gotta have some works. You gotta do something. This ain't for free. The Lord is not asking much, but the little He asks for, you're gonna have to do it, man.
It matters. Yep.
Yeah, if I could add on, because like through the Spirit, what y'all was saying about how we enter into other man's labors, you know, and we can't just come in here and do it, you know, however we want to do it. You could pull up Galatians 2 and start at 1. Because even Paul, you know, obviously we know that Paul, being an apostle, or he was taught by Yahweh Shai, but he entered into the labor of the disciples after, you know, after them. So he looked at Peter and James and John as his elders. So when you read here, it says Galatians 2 verse 1, the council at Jerusalem. It says, then 14 years after I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas and took Titus with me also. And I went up by revelation and communicated unto them the gospel which I have preached among the Gentiles, but privately to them which were of reputation, lest by any means I should run or had run in vain. I'll go into the NLT and read verse 2. Because there was a council, there was an issue amongst men that was of the circumcision that said that basically you had to be circumcised in order to be delivered, in order to be saved. But Paul didn't receive that revelation. Paul received that, well, you can get the Spirit without being circumcised. So as you see here, it says, and I went there because the Most High revealed to me that I should go. While I was there, I met privately with those considered to be the leaders of the church and shared with them the message I had been preaching to the Gentiles, which is what the Israelite foreigners. I wanted to make sure that we were in agreement for fear that all my efforts had been wasted and I was running the race for nothing. Okay, so that's why you have to get counsel. That's why you have to follow after the as Paul said, know who you learn from. All right, and know basically, you know, their reputation, you know, their doctrine, not verbatim. All right, because even Paul had that mindset. Like, look, I'm not trying to go against, you know, the church. I'm not trying to go against the leadership, and I want to make sure that what I'm doing, what I'm teaching, is right, and they're agreeing with that, because I don't want to be running this race and preaching for nothing. And you got a lot of men that are doing that because they came up underneath the elders, right? And they came up, and which is really the doctrine of Yahweh Shai, right? Because you was reading the First Corinthians, the 3rd chapter, the foundation is Yahweh Shai. So they came up underneath that foundation, but then they go and teach something different. Well, now you teaching something different, and all of that teaching, no matter how much you're going out there, no matter how much videos you're doing, all that is in vain, because it is not after the doctrine that Yahweh Shai laid, the foundation that Yahweh Shai laid, you know, and that's a prime example of having that mindset. You're supposed to, if you do have something that you came up into your mind, like, oh, I think this might be this, X, Y, and Z, you're supposed to bring it up the chain of command. But a lot of people become self-willed, and they go like, know what? Nah, I'm just going to go out there and teach it myself and teach this different doctrine myself. And that's what the truth is going to be now. Like the Lord is like, all right, well, this whole foundation we laid for these past 45, 50, 60 years is not the true foundation. This is going to be the true foundation here right now. Yeah, I just want to add that.
John, Thawad, a very beautiful point, and actually brought to mind a quick precept, which is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 13. And it says, when I say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust to his own righteousness and commit iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered, but for his iniquity that he hath committed, he shall die for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know that this applying to the actual, going off and, following the ways of the Lord, but applying that to this truth, that righteousness is going into the works that you do, the labor that you are doing in the work of, in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Now, if it says here, if you trust to his own righteousness, so he's saying, no, you know what? I don't want to come under men. I don't want to lay, I got rebuked and I didn't like it. Or I try to bring this in here and they said, no, you got to stick to this. I don't like being told what to do. I don't like conforming. Okay. So because of that, he says, well, I'm going to go do my own. I'm going to go teach it the way I want to teach it. Like that was going into. Well, guess what? Eventually, you're going to go off. And you're going to be committing iniquity because you're going to be polluting the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai when you add or take away from his word. So the second you say, I'm gonna lay a new foundation, what are you doing? You're adding. You say, I'm gonna start building in my own way. If it's not according to the ways that the Lord has set up, why do you think Hebrews 5:12 is written? For the time ye ought to be what? Teachers. Sure. Ye have need that one teach you again. What are they gonna teach you again? They're gonna teach you how you're supposed to teach. They're gonna teach you what you're supposed to teach. They're gonna teach you what you're supposed to do. So when you become a teacher and you no longer have need of milk, but you can start chewing on meat, you eating the right foods. Yeah, you can grow teeth, but what food are you eating? And what food are you making? So all these things are in there. There's a spiritual etiquette in how you have to move. And a lot of Israelites forget the spiritual aspect of this truth. They're caught up on the carnal. They're caught up on everything being tangible. If you don't got no tangible stuff on me, the Lord could destroy your ass, and you can say, "Oh Lord," but where's the tangible proof? Go ask Job. Go ask Job if he was presenting the Lord with some tangible proof. If that's what delivered him, because Job is saying, "Look, what did I do? I ain't do nothing wrong." And even his friends were getting on him like, "Yo, you must have been something you did wrong. Most I ain't just gonna do that to you." So the Most High does what he wants, and you knowing that, you should be in fear. And you say, "Well, Lord, I know that my salvation is not guaranteed. I don't know if I'm of the elect. So what spirit should I be in?" Well, what I do know is going to get real out here. What I do know is we're all going to be tested, as we're reading of in 1 Corinthians chapter 3. I do know that my works are going to be tried against fire. And fire, nothing escapes fire. You either get pure or purer, or you get destroyed. Mm-hmm. So what am I going to do? Well, all right, I'm going to make sure that I put in as much work as I can, so that when it goes against that fire, it stands. I don't know if it will or not, but I know that if I could do at least the most that I can, then in that point, hey, I did the best I can. That's all I could tell the Lord. Sure. Lord, I'm not perfect. I know I'm not, none of us deserve this. All I can say is I did the best that I could with what you gave me. That's it. So you judge, you have mercy. That's it.
Yeah.
So you got it. Keep going on that.
Verse 14, if any man's work abide, which he has built thereupon, he shall receive a reward.
And that's also an example with the servants who, when they received the talents, they went and they brought back more talents. They received the reward. Go ahead.
That's right. And if any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss. But he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire.
Yeah, because ultimately what's going to happen, you're going to have Israelites that their works are not going to stand. And they still going to be saved, but the fire they're going to be saved by is going to be a different kind of fire. The scriptures talk about in Revelation, the 20th chapter, on whom the second death have no power. That's the elect. But the 2/3, because the scriptures say that all Israel shall be saved. So we know all Israelites are going to be saved, regardless of whether your works are good or bad. But it's how you are saved.
That's right.
How you are saved. Your works, if they stand, will shield you from that physical fire. But if they don't, your works are made of paper, or some wood or hay or stubble or something like that. My man's, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be burned. You're gonna be more fuel for the fire. But Jake don't consider this. They don't lay this to heart. That's why they don't. You don't see a lot of diligence in. Here it is. You got Dabu 7 is more diligent than a lot of people. You got people that are in the world who are laboring for a corruptible crown that are more diligent. So you should stop and ask yourself, hold on one second. Wait. He's laboring for a championship. He's laboring for some certificate. I'm laboring for immortality. I'm laboring to serve the King of the universe. I'm laboring so the Lord can deliver me from this hell that's coming. And yet somebody that's laboring for something less than you is going harder than you. Then you got. That's why we all have to examine ourselves and try to do as much as we can. Ain't nobody saying turn into Superman, but even a little bit more each day over time accumulates to a lot.
That's right. Next precept.
Yeah, I don't know if the elder wanted to say anything. If you want to say anything, you just jump right in. It's all right.
God.
All right. Let's look it.
I think the next one was let me see.
Yeah, it was.
Did we get John 9 and 4?
Yeah, I think the next one was Hebrew 12, I believe.
Okay, let's get that. Hebrews 12 and 4.
All right. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 4. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin.
Good. So that's another aspect of why it's going to get real out here. Because so typically, what do we do? What are our requirements? We study the scriptures. Studying is a big part. You read, you stay in the spirit, you fast, you pray, you teach, you go out there, you come back. But there's that's why you got certain Israelites that just fall into a routine and they just go through the motions. I just do this, I just do this, I just do this. They don't really get in the spirit of it. Mm-hmm. But a part of our daily requirements doesn't involve necessarily having to lose blood.
Sure.
But the time is coming when some of us are going to have to lose blood for this truth's sake. At that point, who's going to be willing to get punched in the face or lose a couple teeth because they're standing firm for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai? You had men in the past that lost their life. They lost their life. They gave up. They gave up their life. If you read some of the things that were required of the men of the Lord back then, you got to ask yourself, how many of you can do that today? How many of us can do that today? If the Lord, Abraham and Isaac, and he said, go sacrifice your son, how many of us would actually be able to even process that to go and do it? You look at your son, and then you think in your head what I'm about to do to him, you thinking, damn, Lord, like, is this even like okay? Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't just randomly go and pick up somebody else's son and even do that. How much more for your own? How many of us would be willing to do that? You know, the Lord telling Ezekiel he was gonna basically kill his wife, and he couldn't mourn. How many of us would be able to do that? Mm-hmm. There are people that fall out the truth over women. So how much more for the Lord say, I'm gonna kill your wife and you can't mourn?
Hey, going to the topic of you mentioning about Abraham and his son, something I've been meditating on a lot lately, because that just requires a level of faith that is really the highest level of faith. Because when it comes to life and death and believing that a power can deliver you or raise you up from the dead, that's a faith that is unmatched. Because anything else, if you can raise somebody from the dead, then anything else can be done. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that separates, like that. What they always say, God took him. God took his soul. He's back with God now. So the faith that we got to have in that time, even when it comes to our loved ones or even ourselves, that's why it says in Revelation that they love not their life unto the death, because ultimately we have to have the faith to know that the Most High is over death. He's over the power of death. I believe Hebrews the 2nd chapter, or maybe it's 1 Corinthians the 15th chapter, it says that Yahweh Shai, he defeated the last enemy, which is death. I believe it's 1 Corinthians the 15th chapter. He said that he defeated the last enemy, which is death. So having that faith in this time, because that's ultimately the only thing that the only thing that Esau is really going to be able to present us with as a weapon, not a weapon, but as something that we got to overcome, is the fact that he has the ability to kill us. And that's why Yahweh Shai said to fear not him that can kill the body. But that requires faith for you to have that mindset to not fear somebody that has the ability to kill you. That means that you have more power, you have more belief in the power that is telling you to not fear that than the actual the lesser power, because that's what Esau is trying to present himself as a power than the power that has the ability to kill you, you know. And that's what the test is all about. The test, Moses spoke about the condition of the battle, right? Or a second Esdras, I believe he spoke about Moses saying that this is the condition of the battle. He that's able to overcome this. Actually, let me pull that up real quick. If you can pull that up in second Esdras.
7th chapter?
7th chapter, yeah.
Yeah, you already got it on here.
Yep. Verse. What verse?
I think it's up above.
Yeah, so up a little bit. Not that too far.
Oh,
okay. Go down, keep going. It might be down like around the 30s.
Okay.
Actually might be down further.
All right.
Where is it? Boom, boom. A little bit more. Day of Doom.
Is it 57? Check around like yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Yep, it says then second Esdras 57 verse second Esdras chapter 7 verse 57 says, then he answered me and said, this is the condition of the battle which men that is born upon the earth shall fight. Okay, and that's why the scriptures talks about being a good soldier. All right, the weapons of our warfare, because we are in a battle right now. You know, we're trying to get back to our first estate. We're trying to be worthy of being called the sons of God. Yahweh Shai did it. You know, that's why when he finished, he said what? That give me the glory that I had with you from the beginning. He is the first of many brethren that defeated, that won this condition of the battle. And through him, but see, he had to do it off of his own, you know, accord. You know, he didn't have a mediator. He didn't have an intercessor. He didn't have anybody that he could use to fall back on, or if he slipped up and said, "Yo, I got somebody got my back." He had to do it all by himself. That's why the scripture says that he was a man acquainted with grief. Okay, but we have him now that has that walked through the path. It's like if you're walking down a road or a path, let's say a path that is the unbeaten path, right? Unbeaten path where there's no actual clear way to walk. It's harder to walk that walk. But Yahweh Shai paved the way for us. So now we also got to walk that straight gate, but it's easier for us because he did it for us. He paved the way for us. So it says, this is the condition of the battle that man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer, as thou hast said. Be overcome with what? The God of this world, which he promotes the lust of the flesh. He promotes the lust of the eye, the pride of life, everything that is carnal. Okay, or if you be overcome with the cares of this world, you see, because if you are overcome with the cares of this world, then you, in essence, believe that you are of this world. And if you are of this world, then you're going to perish with this world. Because Yahweh Shai is not coming to save this world. He's coming to save the world of Israel, the elect of Israel, out of this world to establish the new world.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and if he get the victory over what? Over the beast,
Mm-hmm.
all right, the hour of temptation, over the mark. That's when Revelation, the 15th chapter, says they rejoice that got in the victory over the beast in his image.
Mm-hmm.
He shall receive the thing that I say. And that is what? The immortality, okay, the paradise that is laid up for us, man. But the last thing that this devil is going to come with, as you were saying before in Hebrews, the 12th chapter, is going to have to strive for the truth, death, man. Now, a lot of us have not resisted sin yet unto blood. Because what is the ultimate sin? that we're going to have to resist is what? The charagma, the MOB. Okay. And a lot of people are going to have to resist that to the point of blood being shed. But knowing that the victory comes through the resistance, the victory comes through keeping your integrity through that hour of temptation. And you got to have real faith to believe that is what that there's a reward for resisting that. And a lot of people don't have that type of faith. And we pray that we have that faith and we continue to increase that faith. And really what we're doing now, whether brothers know it or not, but all of this is increasing our faith in doing that. That's right. All right. That's why the Lord said, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee in an hour of temptation. You know, that's it.
Very beautiful point. Yeah, because hey, even when we do these lessons, as well as the viewers are being edified, we are as well. You know, as we're getting into it. You know, so that's a very valid point right there. See, there's one of those motivational speakers. I don't remember his name, but he said pain is temporary. He said it may be for a minute or hour or even a year or something like that. But if you, I forgot what he said, but he said it's temporary. But if you succumb to it, it will last forever. You know, so you may be going through pain for a couple of seconds. If you overcome it, that's it. You know, a month, you overcome it, that's it. But if you let that pain overcome you, it'll put you in a position where you're going to be in a new type of pain that'll last forever. And it might not be the same physical pain, but it'll be that mental pain of not being able to overcome that previous obstacle that you were in. And as we see these things, death, the suffering, look, when you see it, it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. You know, you gotta be able to look at a situation, and how your mind processes it is going to determine how you act in that situation. Perception, deception. So if you see a guillotine and instantly you get afraid, oh my gosh, they're going. Eric Thomas Khan, the water. I believe it was him. Yeah. I think it was him. But you see a guillotine and you get afraid of losing your life. Then you got to ask yourself, why am I afraid of losing my life? What is there here for me? What does this life entail of? It's only been suffering, wickedness, all this. So what am I really fighting to hold on to over here? What am I so afraid of? Now, you look at the guillotine again, and now you're thinking spiritually. Now you got to look at the guillotine not as like a sharp-ass thing that's about to cut your head off, but now you got to look at the guillotine as, damn, this is really a portal to immortality. Because I'm in this truth. If I'm about to lose my head for that, it's a couple of seconds, I go to cut it off, but that couple of seconds is going to make me assured, yeah, I'm of the elect. I'm going to be delivered. I got a spot in the chariots. I'm going to get a new body. I'm going to be immortal. I'm going to get planets. I'm going to be able to enjoy the kingdom. All of these things is right there. Now the guillotine don't look so scary. Now you might just get a little excited because you're like, shit, take my head off already. That's why Paul was comfortable going up to lose his life, because he said, I've done what I need to do. From henceforth, there is a crown laid for me. So if I'm afraid to get my head taken off, then that's like saying the crown is right there, but you're hesitating to go get it. Go get your crown, king, right? Go get it. You want it, go get it.
He said, 2 Timothy 4 verse 6, for now I am ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. Okay? Because that's what you got to look at it as. As you said, it's like a portal to immortality. So you're just departing this world, which is vexing anyway. You're departing the trials of this world. So it's like, if in Job it tells you what, there the wicked shall cease from troubling, there the weary shall be at rest. See, we're looking to enter into our rest. As long as we're here in this vessel, we are always going to have to labor. Why do you think the elders, they're elderly men, but they're still laboring? You know, we've seen them go from having dark hair to gray hair, and they're still doing the labor. And we, me and one of the brothers, we always talk about, like, I don't want to be the elders. Like, I don't want to be from going to being a young man to being an elderly man and still being in this, in this world. Okay, because with this world comes the laborious work of this world. Now, as Paul said, that we labor for when he said I was in strait betwixt the two, but it's needful for us to be here for the elect's sake. And that's why we always are constantly praying that the Lord speed up the days and he seal the elect so that we can enter into our rest, so that we don't have to labor anymore and be in this vexing, God-forsaken age that we're in, you know, and being ready to depart. And if that means that we got to depart by way of either, Lord willing, getting taken up in a chariot, or Lord willing, you know, exiting from this vessel into the spirit realm, hey, the Lord's will be done. He will be glorified in any way, because at the end of the day, if we die on this side, we're going to die the world knowing, especially if in that time, if we're being martyrs, we're going to die with the world knowing that we died for righteousness' sake, that we died for Yahushai's sake. So the Lord is still being glorified in our death.
Done. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You know, you died honorably. So the second you get to the spirit world, hey, you know what? I'm not perfect, but at least in my heart, I was willing to go as far as to lose my life for righteousness' sake. You know, you got people in the world that die over gun violence. They die for committing adultery. They die for being an evildoer.
They die over a block.
What happened?
They die over a block. That's not
Yeah,
even.
I was just thinking that.
Jake died for a block. You know, you died for, but why'd you lose your life? Yeah, it's my block. I had to defend my block. But here it is. You died for righteousness' sake. It's crazy, man. What happened?
He died for some Jordans.
Over some Jordans.
Over a parking lot.
Over parking. Yep. Over parking.
And that's how you look at it. It's like, yo, what a disgrace! Like, what a disgrace! Like you get to the spirit world, like, yeah, and now you're back in your right mind. You're like, that is not what I should like.
Yeah.
And those deaths are never something like easy. They get judged horribly. Like, you get stabbed up. You know, you get shot mad times over some shit that at the end of the day is just complete vain, man.
God. You know, so it shows you, but we should look at that and say, look, if somebody in the world is able to, they're willing to lose their life over a block, over a name, over sneakers, should you not be willing to lose your life for the name? Yahushua lost his life for us, right? Now I got a quick precept. This is Ecclesiasticus 30:17. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. So we're living a bitter life now. So just like Stephen was relieved when he saw it, look, whatever pain Stephen must have been going through when he saw Yahushua, it all just subsided. He wasn't saying, ow, my leg, no. His spirit was so fixated on Yahushua, the glory, all of that nothing, when somebody's like pushing you or bugging you, but your mind is somewhere else that you don't even feel that there's somebody touching you because your mind is so captivated. Well, on a higher level, when your spirit is so captivated, it doesn't matter if you're feeling pain or whatever you're feeling, it's like you're not even here. Your spirit is just out somewhere.
Yeah, a spiritual adrenaline.
Right, yep.
Because with adrenaline, sometimes something can happen to you that you might not even notice until after your adrenaline subsides.
Yeah.
You can get like hit or stabbed or something, a broken arm, but if your adrenaline is high enough, you won't even feel it until after after your adrenaline went down. So that's like in the spirit. You got spiritual adrenaline. That's what happened with he didn't even feel it. Like, he was able to pray for them. Like, they know now what they done. Like, why are you getting stoned? Like, that's what you're able to do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
God, yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah. And like Samson too. He after all that, when the spirit left him, that's when the adrenaline wore off. That's when he was like, "Oh, I'm thirsty unto death." Yeah, you got that, yes.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it happens in the military all the time because they're in the heat of battle. The self-preservation, the adrenaline kicks in. He gets shot like 5-6 times. He doesn't know, until it dies out, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I got shot."
Oh yeah, gone. Yeah. Hey, so that was it on Hebrews 12:4. What's the next one you got? John 9, right?
John chapter 9. God.
That's right, and this is also a key precept here. John 9:4. You got it if you can read it, Baqar. Sure.
I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work.
So now, who sent us? We were sent by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai because we were called, right? We were called, and the word apostle means what? Sent away. So we were called and sent after we were trained. We were sent to go out there and to fish and to teach and to trade, right? And so the works we were sent out there to do, we must do those works while we still can, because there's a time coming very soon. Look, when the famine of the word comes, that's it. This is a once in all of existence experience. We're never going to come back to this point ever in history ever again. We're never going to revisit a time when we need to go out there in the highways and byways and prophesy again, or show our, keep the word of the Lord's patience. So sometimes, you're like, damn, it's hard, but just remember, this is the last time you're going to have to do it. So go hard. It's the last time you're going to have to do it. So give it your all. You don't want to have any reserve strength left, because then you're like, damn, I had that lesson in mind. I said I had the chance to do it today, but then I said I'm going to do it tomorrow. What if all hell breaks loose? What if there's a power outage? What if there's an EMP attack tomorrow morning before you get a chance to do that lesson? What if the Lord says, maybe that'll be that one lesson that's the deciding factor? You know how heavy that weighs on your conscience? So when you have the chance, do it while you can. That's for all of us, me, everybody. Because we're human. There's times you're like, let me do it in like a couple minutes. Then a couple minutes goes further, then further, and further. Then another brother does a lesson. You're like, damn, I was just thinking that. Yeah, because the spirit was coming to you, but whatever the case is. So, but those are all things that we can't always say, oh, we meant. You got to break out of that, and you got to form better spiritual habits to where you're habitually able to do a lesson when the spirit comes on you. You make time. Instead of making provision for the flesh, you make time for the spirit, so you do what you need to do.
And I believe you mentioned this a while back, and you said because what we do in the kingdom, there's no there's no such thing as, okay, can I make up what I didn't do on earth so that I can I can elevate and rank and all these things. Nah, man. When you're in the kingdom, whatever you did here, that's it. There's no promotion up there. There's no second chances. There's no extra credit up there. So whatever you are up there, it all depends on what you do down here, man. So you got to give it your all. Right.
Beautiful point. You have Romans 13.
Yep.
And we're bringing out these precepts to keep on reiterating the fact that, like we're about to read here in Romans 13 and 11, the salvation is coming, yes, but you have to do your best so when it comes, you can gain the fullness of it.
That's right.
Meaning, the time Yahushua returns, you want to make sure you're doing everything. Look, at least follow what Peter said. He said, you give it your all, you ain't going to fall. So make sure you're still standing when Yahushua comes, because he's going to come. Yahushua's going to come. Ain't nobody going to stop that. The prophecy is going to pop off. The MOTB is still going to come out. It's going to be made mandatory. These prophecies are going to happen. But you can't control that. But what can you control in the best of your ability? Well, yourself. Disciplining yourself. See, the truth ain't just about doing what you have to do. You also have to stay away from the things that you shouldn't do. Because you can be somebody that does what you have to do, but then you also go and do something that you're not supposed to do, and then that messes up your whole joint. So you got to stay away from trouble, stay out of trouble, while continuing to stay on the path of righteousness and diligence. All right, so you got it.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake out of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
For now is our salvation nearer than we believed.
There you go. You got it, Zaquan.
And I was going to say, the first key part of that, it says knowing the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there is a gift, really, from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to let you know the time. It's like the Lord gave us a spiritual watch where we can look at it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's never broken. We can look at it, and we all got our own watches. We're like, yeah, it's this time. When somebody asks you, what time is it? Like, you check your watch. You're like, I don't got a watch, And if you don't got that watch, then you're not gonna know what time it is, and know the importance of the time. That's what it goes into the high time. Second Esdras, the 9th chapter, it says what? measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past, then thou shalt know that it is the very same time. Time. It's an important time that we're in. And in order to know the importance of the time, you got to be able to know the signs of the time. And a lot of people don't know the signs of the time. So it's saying that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. And if you're awoke, you want to what? Stay woke. You don't want to go back to sleep. And this devil, he has a lot of cunning arts, a lot of wiles to lull people to sleep. Even people that's not in the truth. Okay, if they get shaken enough, they might wake up. That's what the whole Emic was about. You know, a lot of people was now want to be woke, right? The whole woke phase, and they want to tell the Illuminati this, and you know the Agenda 21 that, and Agenda 30, and the World Economic Forum. But then he's so like, you know what, we're gonna open everything back up. Now everybody just going right back to being asleep again. They're going back to their whole daily one and two life of just the vanity, and they forgot what's really going down. But the ones who are awoke, the ones who are awakened in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, we're always watching. We're always upon our watchtower, whether it be the third watch, the fourth watch. Yahweh Shai said it. You stay watching, because you know not at what time the Lord is going to come, whether it be the third watch, the second watch, or at midnight. Okay, that's right. So it's just knowing the time that it's high time to wake up out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. And why do we know that? It's because, see, Paul wrote that, right? But he really wrote that. Things written aforetime was written for our learning now. He wrote that because somebody can see, oh, Paul, see, he said that 2,000 years ago, but he wrote that in the spirit, man. And the same people that he was teaching to then is the same people that are back now that Paul is teaching and wrote these words to now. Because even Yahweh Shai said it, that this generation shall not pass to all be fulfilled. Well, guess what? Paul was in a generation of Yahweh Shai. So that same generation that Yahweh Shai said that everything's going to be fulfilled to is the same generation that Paul is saying that now our salvation is nearer than when we believe. And that's really prophesying right there. That's Paul was prophesying by saying that.
Right. God. Yeah, here we are now witnessing those things. And that's why it's important to know these scriptures and to know these prophecies. Knowing the prophecies is like knowing how to tell time. And like the elder, he made a point on that about the watch. You know, now you got individuals that may have a watch, but they don't know how to read the clock. They don't know how to tell the time. They don't, because, you know, the traditional watches, you actually have the clock. You know, nowadays it just tells you the time on there. But if you don't know how to read the clock and you got a watch, you just have it on there for style. You know, because you got certain people like that who they got a watch, but they don't know how to read the clock. So you ask them the time, they'll go like, oh, then they'll reach out on their phone and tell you the time. And you wonder, wait, but why are you not using the watch? Why you reach all the way in your pocket just to tell me the time? You can just read it.
You can't read the digital.
Yeah, exactly.
Digital one, or is that the other one? I think it's the digital one, right?
For what?
For the times, because you got the one that's like the analog. You got the one that's like a digigital.
Yeah.
I forget which one is which.
I think the analog is the one with the hand and everything.
Okay, that's the analog. Yeah, they can't read the analog. They need the digital one where it shows you the hour.
Yep. Yep. And so eventually, when that's like in this truth, you may have the scriptures, but you don't know the prophecies. So you got the watch, but you can't tell the time. So now what good is it for you? Because you got it. And now you know what's going to happen? Everybody else who knows what time it is, right? And that knowing the time, the second we look at our clocks, we see that it's 3 o'clock. We know what's finna go down. Everybody gonna start moving. Imagine you in class, and then it hits 3 o'clock, and then everybody just looks at their watch, and then they just start packing up. They start packing their stuff. Yo, hurry, we gotta go. You know, you see what time it is, right? And you sitting there, huh? You looking at your shit. You're not sure what's going on because you can't tell the time. So you don't know, am I supposed to get up now? Am I supposed to, what's going on? They're going to be asking questions. We ain't going to need to ask each other. Look, man, if some shit goes down, we ain't going to need to come to each other and say, hey, brother, what, you know what that's about? What's going on with Russia and Ukraine? What's that about? The second I'm going to start a sentence, you're going to finish it for me. I'm going to think of a precept and you're going to already be saying it because we already know what time it is.
And it's like the example you just used about for school. Imagine you couldn't leave the class until you looked at the clock.
Oh man,
and read the time. Now, if you couldn't read the analog, you trying to go reach into your phone to get your phone, but then imagine if your phone is dead. So now you can't leave. You know? And that's what you got to know the time. You got to be able to read, understand the signs of the times. Hey, Yahweh Shai said it. Ye hypocrites, you can discern the skies, but you can't discern the times.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that discerning of the times gives you the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that's going to make you stable. If you're not able to discern those things, and you need the actual, the digital to read it. That's like them saying, like, I need to see this, like verbatim, like right in my face to be able to know that this is what it is. I need to see that they come out and say the mark of the beast, MOTB, is this, and I want to see them come and start bringing everybody down to the lines. And by the time you realize it, by that point, it's going to be too late. It's going to be because there's you have no time to build up your faith. You got no time to get right in the eyes of the Lord. So really, and especially a lot of people that come into like that because you might have men that of that 11th hour, right? Lord have mercy on them. But let's say that they was lackadaisical or they were, slow rolling. They might have to glorify the Lord in their body at that time. Because when they had the time to serve the Lord, they wasn't watching. So that when all hell breaks loose, they want to be like, oh, yeah, no, now I want to get right. Yeah, I want to get right now. Well, you don't got enough time to get right now. As you brought up before, the night, the night is coming where no man can work. Mm-hmm. So now your work got to be you glorifying the Lord in your body, and that's you taking that being that martyr, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gone. Yeah, because like you said, that how are you going to make up for all that time? You got other men that have been, for example, you look at the elders and apostles, right? You wouldn't be doing this for that long in season, out of season, if you ain't truly believe it, right? So, but you got somebody else. Now, if you came in at the last hour, how do you show the Lord that same amount of faith in but a few moments? You need to do something real drastic, something real major.
Mm-hmm.
There was also back on the time analogy you gave. If you in the class, right, and like the elder said, you can't leave the class unless you tell the professor what time that is on there. And here they're talking about there's a tsunami or there's something coming. Everybody got to start hurrying up and get out of there. The problem is you can try, but you don't learn how to read a clock in a matter of seconds. This is something that you're taught. And then over time, the more you do it, it's easier. Oh, it's 10 past such and such. Oh, it's 30 minutes to this. Oh, it's 15 to this. You can tell what time it is then. In the moment, you got to remember, in the moment, you're trying to tell time. You don't know how to do it. You're trying to learn on the spot, but there's so much going on that you can't even grasp the information. Somebody might whisper to you, yo, you got to look at the second hand and then the hour hand that tells you what hour. You all messed up. You hearing the flood is almost here. Everybody's rushing. You all messed up and you stuck here crying and shit as a grown man because you can't tell the time, so you can't leave the classroom. And then you know what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to stop trying to tell the time and you're just going to start thinking about regrets. Damn, man, I was in the same. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have skipped that class, man. I should have just stayed with them. I should have just listened. The whole bunch of regret. See, when all hell breaks loose, when the judgments come, there's going to be a whole lot of regret going on. And that's why the judgment ain't up to us. Because you see certain Israelites in the case they're going to be in, you're going to forget how much of a demon they were. Because you're going to be like, damn, that's so, all right, chill. But the Lord ain't going to chill. The Lord doesn't get squeamish. I say that over and over again. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai doesn't get squeamish. They don't see your face fractured and broken in half and you got to chill out with that, man. It's too violent. It's too brutal. Slow down on that. Nah. Man, the Lord, rip his face off. The Lord gives the commandment. So who's going to tell the Lord to, you guys think about that? Who's going to tell the Lord to chill when he got a freaking, 200-pound gorilla drumming on your fucking head while you're on the ground and your face just being busted open? Who's gonna come there to tell the Lord to chill? I'm not, because the Lord's gonna be bringing out judgment. I'm not gonna get in the way of that. The scriptures say the righteous shall be quiet for fear of evil. So if you see a wild animal bust out of nowhere and rip somebody in shreds, I'm not gonna jump in front of you. I don't care if you're a woman or I'm not gonna jump in front of you. Oh Lord, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a baby. No, 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 no. If there's judgment coming upon you, then there's a reason. Because as much as we all are, you know, a brotherhood, what does the scripture say? That every man seek out his salvation, right? With fear and with trembling. I can't get you on a chariot. You can't get me on a chariot. We know what we got to do, but I got to walk the path. You know what path to walk, but you got to walk the path. You know, so that's the point of why it's going to get real out here. For a lot of people that have been slacking, you think that you've been sliding under because, oh, you in a camp with somebody or with people that are diligent, so you don't really got to do. No, the Lord ain't going to look at that. He's looking at you. He might have you by yourself. He might put you in a situation where now your faith is tested. Were you building up your faith or were you trying to ride on the coattails of somebody else? What are you going to do in that time when you are by yourself, when you are tempted, when you can't call the next brother and tell him your problems and he gives you spiritual advice? What do you do then? And the Lord is looking at you. Oh yeah, so I think the last one we had here was Second Ezra, right?
Okay. Chapter 16.
73.
73.
Yeah.
Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 73. It says, Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. That's right.
Now, we specifically got this verse because when you read up a couple verses, you're going to see why or what are going to be some examples of those trials. But the scriptures say, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. It's going to get real, not because if you're of the elect, you ain't going to make it, but because it doesn't matter if you're of the elect or not, you're still going to be tried. That's the realness of it, right? Everybody is going to have to make a stance and a decision, and everybody is going to be tested one way or another. So your faith is what, you may witness brothers who you thought were solid break, and something you never thought you see, you might see. Somebody this brother's definitely ride or die, and he tells you, I ain't doing this, bro. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm too hungry, or I got to do this, and they go and they get tagged. What do you because that takes a mental toll on you. So what do you do then? You know, here it is. Maybe the whole group that you in, everybody else just start, nah, man, the elders are bugging, man. Nah, this ain't it. Look, the Pope said it ain't it. Because they're in such a hard situation, they're trying to justify doing it.
Yeah.
You just gonna let your family die, bro? Nah, I can't do that, man. Shit, I'd rather just come back in the kingdom. I'm gonna come back anyway, right? I'm gonna still be a king. You know, I'm gonna still be good, bro. I'm gonna just do it, man. And then you just watch people. I'm just giving a hypothetical situation. They drop your mother, your father, your woman, you know, and all of them, boop, 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 just like that. Your brothers that you might have thought were brothers, and you see them all, and you're the only one left, and now life is hard for you. How do you do then? See, the test ain't so easy then, right? Yeah. It's not just today they come out and say you gotta take the charagma, you tell them I ain't taking that shit, and then that's it. Tomorrow the missiles fly. No. If I ain't taking that, that means for however long the Lord has us here, which Lord willing won't be long, until the missiles fly, guess what? You gotta live life without having the charagma. That's a part of the test. You may go a week, but can you go 2 weeks? You may go a month, but can you go 2 months? Just because you go 3 months doesn't mean you could go 5. You see? So it's going to be a constant test. That hour of temptation, it's going to be a real intense hour. But you make the decision, you got to be. See, the Lord says, all right, what decision are you going to make? But what decision are you going to stand with? You may say, I ain't going to do it, but you may actually do it.
Right.
So are you going to say it and stand with it? This is why we pray to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai to give us that spirit and that faith. Revelation 3:10. We pray that he keeps us. Because those that don't take the charagma it's not gonna be of your own power. The Lord is gonna put the spirit on you to not do it. So it's gonna get real out here, and you ain't gonna be able to just call the next brother for help, and you're gonna have to face situations on your own. You're gonna have to make tough decisions. That's it.
Damn. That's what the scripture says. Oh,
Like
there
those
you go.
decisions shouldn't even really be tough, because if you really believe, then what we're fighting for is all worth it.
Yeah.
The scripture says that these things are light afflictions, man. For the eternal weight of glory. So in your mind, you gotta really be able to weigh in a balance. And when you really compare it, it's no comparison.
That's right.
Okay? There is no comparison. But you gotta be fully persuaded in your mind to this gospel and to this ministry and to this faith, man. So that's all I got, man.
Ash, you was gonna say that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that's what the scripture says. We have to rehearse the righteous acts. And we shouldn't take that very lightly because, keep rehearsing this. What's coming is it's a great thing. And you need to be able to rehearse so that you get used to it. That's pretty much all I wanted to say about that.
Okay. So that's pretty much it. But like the elder said, man, that's a good point to keep in mind. Keep that in mind, man, that it's all about perspective. Are you looking at the bigger picture? If you're not looking at the bigger picture, see what happens when you're here and you look around, the buildings look big, right? The cars, they look big. The planes, everything looks big. That's a big ass park. But if you're in a plane and you're looking down, all of a sudden the cars look so tiny, the buildings look so tiny, the park doesn't look that big. It's all about what view are you looking at it from. So when all these things go down, you look at it from the bigger picture and you stay kingdom minded, all of a sudden these big problems become so minute because you stop thinking of, damn, I'm really about to die. And you start thinking of, damn, all I got to do is give up my life and I'm going to get all this. Then all of a sudden death doesn't seem so big anymore. It's like it becomes so small. You say, damn, man, my daughter's sick, but she might die if I don't give her medication. But then you remember, wait, the Most High is in control of life and death. He could bring her back to life. He could heal her. And if she dies, that's peace. I could see her in the kingdom anyway. He might have her be of the elect and get delivered. Then as you think these things, then all of a sudden, the problem just becomes so small.
Like, it's not worthy to be compared.
Right. That's right. Yeah. So, with that, y'all got anything else y'all wanted to add?
No, everything is summed up perfectly.
Wada for letting me join in.
Hey, the Wadi out brought you a shot. Wadi for joining in. Keep the fire going. Hey, so Lord willing, you were edified. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Until next time, shalom.
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 All right.